big game for the Aztecs as well as for Nevada on Sunday. And I think both teams will play indicative of the fact that it's a big game for both of us. From our end, we want to beat the team that's the leader of the pack. From their end, they want to prove that they are an NCAA tournament team regardless. They will remember, as will we, game one. So we're excited. I'm hopeful that we'll have a big crowd on a Sunday afternoon, which is somewhat atypical for us to play on a Sunday. And we're anxious to play. Trey to my left is 4 or 5 points away from 1,000 for his career. Hopefully we'll get that in the first 35 seconds. And then what we need to do, we have a thought of the day every day, and today's thought of the day is fight. And that doesn't mean fist fight, but that means have a will and a determination to compete, and results take care of itself. So that's going to be our theme, to come out and compete, fight, and if we do that for 40 minutes collectively, we'll have a great chance to be successful. Trey is a huge piece of what we do. Everybody knows that. When he's made big plays, we've won. And it's the nature of what we do. Someone has to step up and make a play when winning is on the line. We haven't done it quite well enough or often enough, but here's a guy that has done it and done it often. And we'll look to him for leadership and direction, and that will help us not only get him 1,000 points, but have a successful game on Sunday. Any questions for probably Trey first, and I'll jump in second?
Trey, can you talk a little bit about the respect that San Diego State has, even though you guys don't have the record that you want? Teams are still excited if they beat you. Teams, it's still a big deal to them if they beat you, even though your records may be the same. Do you feel that level of respect from other teams?
For sure. Just going back to our last game against San Jose, I think it was one of their bigger crowds of the year. And like you said, our record's not the best, but we tend to bring out the better crowds for going on the road. And you can tell after the game how excited they were that they happened to beat us, and that just goes just to show how dominant we've been in this league the past couple years. So even when you have a down year, teams are still going to be excited and want to prove that they're better than you, and try to keep doing that from years and years to come.
Steve, can you talk a little bit about tomorrow, the Celebrate San Diego Day that's going on? You guys have been the hottest ticket in town. You're considered a big ambassador in this, don't you think?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be one of the folks that will be there, and hopefully we'll have weather like this, and it'll be a wonderful turnout. It's appropriate that we're having it at Petco Park. The Padres have been if you talk about what's a good friend and a good neighbor, it's been the Padres. To San Diego State, they have been welcoming. We have done a lot of things together. We've been willing to work together. And now they're at the top of the flag. And we're going to all be climbing to be right with them to say, San Diego is a phenomenal city in every regard. And I spoke before about America's finest city. That hasn't changed. We are. People save a vacation here for 10 days, and we have the privilege to live here in a community where people care, and they care about their sports, and they care about being successful and lending a helping hand, and that's what all of us are going to talk about. The pride that we have in this city, this community, and this athletic program all over, not just San Diego State, but the athletic programs in this city and county. We want to celebrate them. And the Padres, I can't wait to watch them get going next year and see them make steps to get to where they're doing what we all aspire to, chase a championship.
Do you feel like an ambassador because of the support that you've gotten from the city, though, in the past? I mean, when you've been good, you guys have been this hot ticket in town, and now you're
I want to be there. There are no bars on the windows. I don't have to be there. I want to be there and to be a part of it. I'm proud of what we've done at San Diego State and being a part of this community. We've had good success. People have rallied around San Diego State basketball. Everybody knows that, and we are proud of that fact. And we want to help raise the bar for all of us to put a Padre hat on and put a USD hat on, an Aztec hat on, and walk around with pride about who we are. And we all want to win. We want to win individually and then get it done collectively. And I think this is a great idea that's been initiated, and a lot of people will participate. I will be one of them.
Trey, if you agree with the statement, this team kind of continues to search for itself. If you agree with that, how surprised are you that we're still having that discussion in February? Based on past years, even last year.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you want to be for sure like, yeah, this is what we are, this is what we're doing, this is how we feel about our team at this point, or where we are right now. But, I mean, it's just one of those things, that's what Coach has to say. We can't look back and just keep dwelling on the past. We have to keep looking forward. So it goes back to what Coach had to say about the thought of the day, and that's just fight. So we just came off a loss, and now our focus is on Nevada on Sunday, and we're looking forward to having a good game.
Personally, how do you kind of mentally address that side of the game? I mean, players can easily address or know how to address the physical side a lot of times with work and extra shots in the gym or whatever that is. But you personally, when things are a little bit inconsistent over the course of a schedule, how do you approach that?
I mean, first you got to look at yourself. It's just one of those things. You got to evaluate your performance and make a fair assessment. So there's times where I feel like I didn't give my team the best that I could give that night on a particular night. So I have to go back, like you said, just make sure I go to the gym, get extra shots up and stuff like that. And also just, try to not bring the team down, even though we happen to come off a loss, not try to dwell on that fact and just try to keep that positive energy and make sure that we're all ready for Sunday.
And maybe hard to put a rating on, where do you put your confidence in the team right now at this point in the schedule?
I couldn't be able to pinpoint an exact area where we are right now. I mean, I think we are confident still in our ability because we have so much room to grow. So it's just we have to do it now rather than later.
What can people expect to see from you guys on Sunday when you're matching up against them? What are you guys going to do to say, hey, we are going to fight? How are you going to show that?
It's just first thing first with our effort. If you go out there, don't worry about missing a shot, missing a defensive assignment, just going out there and playing hard. The rest will take care of itself. Nevada is a very good and talented team, and we feel the same way about ourselves. So, like I said, if we just go out there, play hard, and play together, I think the fans will be proud of what we put out there.
Coach, what has Nevada done to get, you said they're sort of top of the pack now, what have they done to get there in a pretty quick period of time?
One, they've got better players. I'll start with that. Eric Musselman has done a great job of pushing, pulling, doing what he needed to do to get them to compete. They're not complicated in terms of how they play, but they play with a swagger that's indicative of a team that believes they're going to win. And that kind of is in conjunction with my theme today about fight and belief that you're going to be successful. They've got a really, really talented big guy in the middle. The transfers that they've gotten in, I believe, probably have even surprised them a little bit how well they played. Marshall has had an unbelievable season. He's a big time scorer. And Caroline, after I watched them, I knew that he was a really good rebounder. And after the game, I said he's by far the best rebounder in the league. And he's 6'5", probably. But he wills himself to get some of those balls. So they've got a little bit of that. They got Finner back as a veteran senior that has improved his skills. And I do think that what happened to them last year at the end of the season, when they played in the CBI or whatever it was that they played in, and won it, and they had some good crowds in the process of playing those home games, that created a buzz in the community that, hey, what can we expect next year with these new guys? And that helped them. Everything's different. Everything's relative. That helped them set the table for what this year could be like. And then they've lived up to expectations. They're 18-5. They're good. They're really good. And they've made big plays to win and to win tough, close games.
When you see them, do you see a little bit of yourselves, past teams that you've had, in the way that it was put together, the way that they have, like guys you're talking about who have that swagger about winning? Do you see some of your teams the last few years?
That's a good point. I talked to our team yesterday, and I don't like to tell you everything we talk about, but I talked to our team yesterday about watching them play their game against Vegas, which is a big rivalry. They had the biggest crowd, I think, in the history of the building. The governor, who's a Nevada graduate, was there, and he had to be careful not to cheer too hard for Nevada, even though he was cheering for Nevada. And even early in the game, when it wasn't over, they had a swagger on the bench. They're laughing and smiling, and yes, that comes. Winning helps create that, but that helps create winning. So yeah, that's a good point. It's hard to laugh and smile and dance when you're struggling to win a game, but your point is well taken. You can have that swagger about you, like, here we go. You better be ready, because you better lace them up, because you're going to be in for a battle when you play us. That's what we have. That's what we have to make sure we have.
Trey, and to that point, you guys had that. Where did that go? Do you think they just from losing, or?
I think it just goes back to what coach says. It's hard, to continue to carry that confidence when the results that you want aren't showing up. I mean, I still think there's players on this team that still have confidence. I have confidence in myself and this team for sure. But it just goes back to, you can't continue to carry that confidence and be overly excited about everything when, you're having the losses that we have. So we just have to bounce back and look forward to the next one.
One other question I wanted to ask you, Coach. Obviously you haven't had the season that you expected, or that everybody expected. I mean, you're here, you called a press conference, you invited everybody to come ask you about it. And you've done this several times. Why, maybe this is a dumb question, but why do you do that? It'd be very easy to hide and make it tougher for us to interact with you.
That's who I am. That's who we are. You know that, Mark. I've always been that way. I've never taken anything personal. There have been some things that you have written, believe it or not, that I haven't agreed with. Not often, but on occasion. And but I have great respect for our media here. And now I'll help you a little bit. No one has worked harder to cover our team than you. I know that. He knows that. I look up here at every practice. So it's not like you parachute in on game day and never see what we're trying to do and accomplish. So I have respect for that. And you treat people the way you would hope they would deal with you. So that's what we've always done. We're not going to run away when we're disappointed with where we are. 13-10, we thought we would be better. You did too. Everybody in here did. We're not. We're 13-10 right now. That's who we are. But we could be 14-10 after Sunday, and that's what we want to be. That's what we intend to be. Crazy things can happen and do in a season. And sometimes they happen when you don't think it's going to happen. So we got to keep the fight going and stay with it and hope that we'll catch that lightning in a bottle. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll have to play better. We'll have to coach better. We'll have to do a better job, all of us, a little bit. When you're supposed to win and you lose a little bit, I think it chips away a little bit where you look up and say, boy, it's really close. And I think that can affect you if you're not careful. It probably has us a little bit. We haven't collectively been able to do a good enough job to say, come on. It's like Winston Shepard last year. And we said this before. We're 11-0. We're at Fresno. And we lost the game. But when it was tight, he said, hey, man, did you think it was going to be easy? It's not easy. You got to keep battling. And so that's what we're going to do.
Trey, can you just talk, my final question is just being a San Diego kid, participating in an event tomorrow that will be celebrating athletics in San Diego, the pride that you have to be up there on that stage and know that you're one of those teams and one of those representatives.
Just like you said, being from San Diego, a kid can only dream of, going to a high major college and being one of the main pieces for that program. So I take great pride in that. I love being from San Diego. Even though I'm not open to going to other cities, I will still say that San Diego is the best city out there. So I'm just glad that we have a day like we have tomorrow to appreciate this great city and everything it has to offer, from sports to the people. Just everything about San Diego is great.
Trey, you received praise from the coach at the beginning of the conference, at the beginning of the presser, and you're a couple points away from 1,000. And that has a lot to do with your health. Played every game this season, every game last season. However, you guys been bit by the injury bug this year. How difficult has it been for you as a player to see Malik Pope, Zion miss a game, Max miss a few games, for you and for the rest of the team to have to adapt without those guys?
It's tough because, first off, they're really talented players and key pieces to what we were trying to do this year and still trying to do this year. Malik, we all know how great and talented he is. Same with Z and Max he's a big asset for us. So it's just one of those things, you practice and you start to gain chemistry and then realize the injury bug hits and then you won't have them for a couple games. So things like that, it's unfortunate, but it's just one of those things you have to just move on, and hopefully they get better soon and we can all be healthy. But as of right now, we have who we have and we have to produce.
How much do you think that has affected your guys' play and your current record?
I don't think too much, to be honest. There's just certain games we watch where we just having dumb mistakes out there, playing out of character. So it's not like having someone healthy would change all that around. Obviously we would want to have them out there, but there's just things that we call self-checks that we have, and we have too many of those that we just have to correct.
Coach, last year we only had most of your key guys a couple games handful. So how difficult was it for you and the coaching staff to adapt missing so many guys for long stretches this season?
You make do with what you've got, and you say we're good enough with what we take out there to be successful. I'll spin it around for this guy. He's found ways to play when he's been nicked and hasn't felt his best. He strained his Achilles in the San Jose State game, and he wouldn't tell you that, and it hurt him, bothered him. I didn't know that he would be able to practice on yesterday. He practiced. He finds a way to fight through, and this is not a knock on guys that have missed practice and our games. you have to know your body, but he's had a resiliency and a way to say, I need to be out there. I want to be out there. I'm going to be out there. And sometimes, that helps you in the game to get through that rough patch. And that's why I'm so proud of what he's done and talk about him. I said he's our smartest player. He is. So with that comes expectations from all of us, including me. When he takes a shot, I expect it to go in because I've seen that happen. But I appreciate what is a valuable asset, availability, and he's been available.